Hi, how are you? Still detangling my hair. I have so much fucking stuff on top of it. So anyway, I hope you're doing good. I wanted to talk about my acquaintance Renee. I met Renee at a Christmas party. She tried to kiss me. She knew I had just moved to town, and she didn't like have a lot of friends. Most people that I like met at that Christmas party were like, "Oh, you should be careful with that girl, she's a problem." Not a lot of people like her, and I'm always like, rooting for the underdog. So it's like, oh no, let's see what's up. And then I slowly um well, when I say slowly, I mean the first time I went over to her house and I saw her kids running around, uh, you know, in dirty diapers in a dirty house. I was shocked. Now that I have a kid, I'm like, oh, okay, really, their house can get messy after like a day. So I get it. But it's not as if everyone was tidying up before they went to bed and trying to live like a wholesome family life. Any money that I trained Renee at this restaurant, any money that she would earn, she would go spend it like right away out to eat. And for me, having been a waiter for many years, I was like, what? Like you should save that. Like I fully didn't understand her logic. Um, but when you have a bunch of kids, I can only imagine that burning sensation you will feel inside. Where like I need to have a man provide at least half, excuse me, of what I need for these kids. But uh, she, you know, I don't know. Like, there were so many things that I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? I'm not gonna try to comment on any of the like, stuff that she can't change. But there was so much that she could. She didn't need to go out and buy booze when her kids were sick. I remember I got really mad at her once. She said she'd always need to call off work because, oh, my kid's sick. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then she would be out like later that same night. And it'd be like, I thought your child was sick. Like, oh, yeah, well, he's better now. He's laying down. And I went and used the money that you gave me to buy the medicine to get liquor. And I'm just like, oh, wow, you're a dirtbag. Um, just terrible things. Like, she was one of the first people I met that was like, a city kid. And I'm not a city person, I'm from the country. Um, Sedona's a popular place, but it is a very small town. So, yeah, I was just shocked at the way that she lived her life. And, just going out partying all the time, never spending any time with her kids, always trying to just go leave them with people. Tons of times, she'd call me and be like, oh, there's a birthday party this weekend. We're going to go drop the kids off. And then you and I can go hang out. And at the time, I was young and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't realize like how terrible it was. Um, yeah, just like awful. I was just talking to my mom about that recently. It's like, if any time you go to a kid's birthday party, and you're like, hey, can we leave the kids? They're gonna say okay, they're not gonna be like, most of the time, most people don't really like being put on the spot like that. So they'll just later be like, can you believe this? Fucking chick just dropped her kid off for the weekend. And she would do that a lot. She would find other people that she could just go leave her kids there for the weekend or leave them there for a week or just they were always just gone. And when kids get to be 7, 8, 9, 10, they need a lot more parenting because they understand. When they're little, they don't really understand. They make mistakes. You're gonna have to explain stuff to them a million times and they're still gonna do it. With kids that are like in that age, it's kind of the sweet spot. So you can be like, you're not supposed to do this because you can explain things to them. I always remember that one time I was over at her house and she was running around trying to clean up. And I was like, can I help you with something? She said, yeah, the kids need a bath. You can give them a bath. And I was like, okay. So, took the two older boys into the bathroom And I sit on the toilet, you know, facing the other way, and they're like, what are you doing? And I was just like, you guys are fucking grown. You know how to wash your own body. You're not at the age that you, like, need help. They were, you know, like 7 and 8 or 6 and 8. So they were big. And there's no fucking way I'm getting in there, you know, cleaning their bits. I was like, what the hell? No. And so I was like, do adults still give you guys baths? Or, yeah. Just like, well, I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to tell you what to clean and how to clean it. And I'm going to face the wall. And you're going to be over there. And if you have any questions, I can explain it to you. But, you know, if I hear a loud splash and a thud, I'll turn around. But I'm not turning around. And they thought that was so funny. I was like, you're like in 5th grade. There's no reason for me to be giving you a bath. You can do that by yourself. So they were just giggling and cracking up the whole time. They thought it was so funny that, you know, I was like, you know, shielding my eyes. And they're like, oh, ha, 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 ha. It's just like, you guys are fucking... What? What? So, yeah, I stopped being friends with Renee because her little girl told me that her nanny, which is the mom's ex-boyfriend or something, had taken her down into the basement to show her something. And that was like the most terrifying thing I had ever heard at that point. I was like, oh, and she had just started talking. So yeah, she's like, yeah, I go downstairs in the dark. I'm like, oh, what did you do down there? Nothing. So that freaked me out. So I called CPS on her, and we weren't friends after that because she was really pissed. And I was like, look, I forget what else her kid said. She said something very alarming about going downstairs in the basement with a strange man. And I told her boyfriend about it, and he asked some questions. You know, he was like, okay, well, why do you think that? And Taylor had tried hooking up with me, you know, a couple weeks before that. Like, he was coming over to my house trying to drink wine and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like, things must be really bad with Renee that he's trying to, like, fuck her friend and make her, you know, because Renee did that to me. Renee did that to so many different people. She would fuck their boyfriend and just act like it was no big deal. Like, she ruined my relationship with my boyfriend. She fucked him while we were still dating. But anyway, the anecdote about Taylor, but yeah, so I told Taylor what had happened, and he was concerned, and he asked questions. I told Renee what her kid had said to me, and she was like, you're crazy, that's ridiculous. So I was instantly like, oh, alarm bells are going off. Taylor responded correctly, Renee didn't, so that made me think she was doing something she shouldn't have been. But yeah, like, she slept with my boyfriend. We had been dating for a couple months, and I'm one of those people that just dates. She thought that was nuts. I've said that before. I'll say it again. You are supposed to date people. You don't just sleep with people without knowing them. I have done that a couple times in my life, and it does not work out the way you think. The quality of the relationship will never really be the same as if you wait. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, so yeah, she slept with my boyfriend. I kind of stayed with him because I really, like, I loved him, you know, because we had dated, and I was trying to build up to something. And so Renee had slept with him, and then, you know, my other friend Zizi ended up sleeping with him, like, when we went on a road trip, and then it just, like, carried on from there. You know, I'm not sure who did what, but I was very naive to try to go camping with my friends and have us all, like, share a tent together. Never will do that again. Hope nobody else ever does that. Because, yeah, that's where all that trouble began. So, and then Zizi knew that, like, I was friends with Renee, and we had stayed friends even though she slept with my boyfriend. And, it was a totally different situation because, like, I wasn't just dating my boyfriend then. Like, we had decided to make it official, be monogamous. We had a whole conversation about it, you know. So, yeah, knowing that she knew all those details because she was my friend and she would always ask me all these details. You know, both of those girls did that, but they both did it just in such terrible, like, just now, 10 years later, for me to be piecing together all of these random details and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Oh my God. And me just being young and naive, yeah, I just, I get a little chill down my spine when I hear about people doing like group couple camping. I'm like, oh, one of you got cheated on, but only one of you knows about it and probably ever will know about it. Because when it's a group like that, people do horrible things. So it's just very democratic convention behavior. It just makes me really grateful to be a Republican and vote for people that do different things than that. Because everything in life is a choice, you know. You choose to cheat, you choose to carry on cheating, you know, those are all choices. At any point you could have been like, oh, hey, something happened. You can't be friends with that girl anymore. And people might be like, oh, you can't tell people to be friends with. If you tell them the whole story, I think you can. Because if you're like, hey, you can't be friends with your friend anymore because I slept with her and I want to be with you. And if you maintain the friendship with her, then I'm just going to keep on cheating on you with her and it'll be bad. So do you love me or do you love her? Not that hard to say. Like, if you really care about someone, you will say those things. And if you don't really care, it's easier to lie. So yeah, that's I think that's all of the pertinent information. I tend to gloss over some of the details because it's just so sad. Like, I can't imagine being friends with a girl and then like sleeping with her boyfriend and then staying friends with her, I couldn't do it. I could not do that. I couldn't. So it's just shocking to me. So I'm like, oh wow, that's happened to me a lot in my life. And people might laugh and be like, oh wow, what are you doing that's happening? I'm just trying to be a good person. Crazy concept. It's the hoes versus like the nice girls. And any nice girl can be a hoe, but hoes cannot be nice girls. It is so rare. Yeah, how would you say that in a IQ test? All hoes are mean. Some nice girls are hoes, but not all hoes are nice girls. Something like that. Hello. And then if you are a nice girl, everyone wants to be like, no, you're really a hoe.